Hey guys, Venomous here, and I got a brand new OTGT for you. Now, today I'm talking about the newly announced Dissidia Final Fantasy II that's going to supposedly be shown, okay, over at Tokyo Game Show this year, okay? I'm over here on Kotaku. Okay, they also have an article both on Kotaku and on IGN, okay, that's, talking about a little bit of some of the stuff, that was, coming out as far as, was a breaking news involving this game. Now, what's really cool, okay, to be honest with you, okay, the fact that there is a Dissidia 2, because in case you guys didn't know, back in the day, okay, after Dissidia was out for quite some time, okay, there was talk about, people wanting a sequel, okay, but, okay, what is it, not Yoshiro, was it Tetsuya Mora, when he was asked the question if there was a possibility that Dissidia 2 would be made and that maybe it would be a console game instead of a PSP handheld game, he said that the chances were pretty much slim. Okay, now this is something that's been I guess has been kept under wraps for quite some time because I didn't know anything about this, and you guys know how much of an RPG and a Final Fantasy fan I am. So I'm constantly like on the on message boards or on Kotaku and stuff looking for anything involving my RPGs and stuff that I love. Besides Final Fantasy and other stuff, but this one came to a real surprise to me. Okay, and what's even more cooler in my opinion is that now they're going to add Lightning from Final Fantasy 13 as a playable character, which I think is awesome, okay, because it's good to actually add on to some some of the or at least a character from some of the newer games, because they had Gambranth in the original Dissidia Final Fantasy from 12, so it's only appropriate now that 13's been out, hasn't been out for that long, but 13 is out and already part of Final Fantasy canon or the franchise, that now they're actually going to add Lightning as a playable character. Besides that, the other character that's confirmed for this game, okay, at least from the magazine of what these articles are talking about, is Kain from Final Fantasy IV. Now, honestly, when I played Final Fantasy IV, Cecil was one of my favorite characters. Obviously, he's the main character. I love Sid. I love, most of the characters that are in that game. But Kain was really cool, and Kain was a pretty big fan favorite from that particular game, okay, besides Golbez and the whole other, ensemble of characters. Probably the least liked character in that game was Edward, but that's besides the point. Kain is going to be a playable character in this, which brings up an interesting point. Okay, if they're adding Kain from Final Fantasy IV, okay, and already in the original City of Final Fantasy there was both Cecil and Golbez, pretty much the main villain, the main character and the main villain, and protagonist and antagonist. There could be a possibility that now, since they're adding newer characters, it might be a possibility that all the original 10 Final Fantasy, games that, when they pull characters from there, they might be adding extra characters, maybe as like a third, allegiance to the actual thing. It'd be interesting to see maybe if Kain doesn't necessarily team up with Cosmos or Chaos, that he might be part of some third entity, which might be cool, because then you could start thinking of all kinds of different possibilities, kind of like for Final Fantasy X, maybe they got someone like Auron as a playable character, or from Final Fantasy VII, maybe they got either Zack or Vincent, or maybe anybody you could think of, or Final Fantasy VIII, maybe you could play a Cypher. Final Fantasy IX, you could, or maybe not Final Fantasy IX, maybe Final Fantasy V, you could play as some any of the characters from any of the Final Fantasy games. Some of them escape me at the moment, but any of the side characters, or secondary characters besides the main characters that were in their respective games, maybe they might get one from each game, which adds another almost 10 to 13 characters, which would be very interesting, would be very cool. Now, I don't necessarily know if the PSP will be able to handle something like that, because with the level of quality Square Enix did in the original Dissidia Final Fantasy, it'd be pretty hard to top that off, and then to add more on there when they're already pushing the capabilities of the PSP is a really hard feat. I'm really interested to see what they would do. But here's the cool part about this, okay? From what Tetsuya Nomura is talking about, okay? More than likely, he says that he's confirmed that one of his secret unannounced games will be playable at Tokyo Game Show, okay? When it actually, happens. So with this, really being, kind of like on the down low announced, it's pretty safe to bet that Dissidia Final Fantasy II is more than likely going to be shown at Tokyo Game Show. So that's pretty cool. The name that they gave it here, it's not Dissidia 2, it's called Dissida Duodecim. Dissida Duodecim Final Fantasy, okay, which I guess, is pretty much Dissidia 2. It's just that they want to act all fancy and stuff. But overall, I'm really happy that this game is getting a sequel, because you guys know I love Dissidia Final Fantasy. It was probably one of my most favorite PSP games of all time. Right now, as it stands, that's my favorite. Was the original City of Final Fantasy is my favorite game. I also love Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, God of War Chains of Olympus, Crisis Core Final Fantasy 7, So I'm pretty sure, if they keep up the level of quality of what they did from the original Dissidia, I'm going to, that game's going to be added onto my list of best PSP games to date, okay? Anyway, that's just my whole thoughts on the matter, okay? Leave your comments and video responses. I don't mind. Just keep it civil. Just tell us, what characters you want to see in this sequel, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys out there have a lot of, different picks you want to see in there. Tell us about it, and I'll talk to you guys again soon. Venomous is out, and that was only the goddamn truth, people. Talk to y'all later.